real estate agent? Are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder Podcast.
Well, welcome everybody. It is Friday, and you guys know what happens on Fridays. We do Real Estate Talk, TGIF. This is episode 138. That's right, 138. No, I'm sorry, 135. Wow, what the hell is wrong with me? So anyway, it's 135. We've done 133 weeks in a row, the extra shows. You would know one of the guys. His name's Tom Ferry and John Cheplack. Those were the extra shows. But 133 weeks in a row. I'm really excited to have somebody I've been dying to get on for a long time, since we actually met a long time ago, Bill Pipes. Bill, you are a mega coach, influence coach, everything. How are you today, man?
Bro, I'm rocking and rolling, baby. So live, excited, and full of energy as I always am.
Awesome. So let's rock and roll. So everybody knows that I ask a question. The first question I ask everybody is the same question. Bill, it's called Real Estate Talk, TGIF. Do you know what TGIF stands for?
I would imagine, thank goodness it's Friday, or is there something else?
Well, you're really close, my friend. It's thank God it's finale, and here I am. Thank God it's finale. We're rocking and rolling here. So Bill, you've been in the real estate biz a couple of days. You understand what's going on. Right. Talk to us a little bit about where you started and why you got to where you are. Not how, but why.
Okay, so I'll give the Reader's Digest condensed version. My mom was a real estate agent, so I watched her go into real estate, not succeed in real estate, unfortunately. I mean, she was a massive success as a woman and as a mother, but I remember my senior year, the night before I was, day before first day of my senior year of high school, and going downstairs and walking down, my mom's crying, and she's talking on the phone with her with one of her friends saying, "Oh my gosh, I've tried everything. I don't know what I'm going to do. I burned through all my savings. I'm going to have to go back to being a paralegal. How am I going to tell my son that I'm not going to be able to help him with college?" I remember that sticks in my head. That was my first entry point into the whole real estate thing. And I said, oh gosh, I remember thinking at that time, David, I go, I never want anyone to go through that. I never want any son, daughter to have to experience that. I went home the next morning, gave my mom a big hug, told her we'll get through it. And obviously we worked through it. Fast forward a couple of years, I met a gentleman by the name of Mike Ferry. And so Mike Ferry personally took me underneath his wing. I had no plans of doing real estate at that time. Mike, grabbed me, David, from a PhD program that I was in at the University of California at Irvine to teach comparative literature. I always had this desire to be able to help and support and help meld minds to be able to live lives that are abundant, joyful. And I thought that teaching high school or collegiate level English was going to be the way to do it. But Mike grabbed me and said, "Let me teach you everything I know about real estate." Now that fast forward, that was like 15 years of him teaching me everything, me going out and actually using it, becoming a coach for his company, ultimately becoming a speaker for his company, and then launching a team in Salt Lake City up here, where we sold, after 2 years, 175, 180 homes, consistently sold that, launched a mortgage company called directlender.com with a good friend of mine, Aaron Chua, using the same principles, grew that from about 75 originators and employees to over 3,000 when, right before the crash occurred. So now all I do is I coach, I speak. We're launching a couple of other additional businesses right now in 2000 and, relaunching Direct Lender. But yeah, that's the game. So I've done everything in real estate, from sweeping the floors for my mom, and being an assistant for her, and all, to, running Mike's and Tom Ferry's, coaching departments and their speaker department. So.
I actually absolutely understand and can really assimilate to understand what you did, because that's how I got into the business 40 some years ago, where I was cleaning up basements and floors in a new construction project and being a superintendent and all that stuff. So I know it from the ground up, building houses and all that stuff. So I want to get into real estate agents, right? So there's two major questions I want to ask you. Number one, how do you recognize a superstar agent when you connect with them? Is there something that they have? Is there something that they have to be that superstar agent?
Number one, they have to be coachable. That for me is the number one characteristic and trait. And I look at, this last year, I coach right now 32 individuals. There's 26 of them that actually earned $1 million. And there's a number of them that are earning $3, $4, $5 million top line and keeping a high level of profitability as well too. When I look at the individuals, the ones that truly crush it year in and year out are the ones that I get, and I can tell within 1 or 2 calls or even 1 or 2 conversations at an event that they're really going to succeed. It's the ones that are like Forrest Gump. Right? You guys remember the great movie Forrest Gump?
Absolutely.
What do we do? Lieutenant Dan said, run, or Jenny told him to run, and he just run, Forrest, run. And when you can remove your ego and realize that there's somebody out there that may know a little bit more, may have a little bit more insight. They may not know more, but they may have more insight because they're objectively looking at your business versus you subjectively actually existing inside of it. Then that gives individuals the opportunity to be able to actually move forward faster. Where I see people get really jacked up and stop is when their ego gets in the way, and they either want to do it their way or they're scared to change or make any adjustments, etc. So I think number 1 is a high level of coachability, which does require some self-awareness as well too, right? Responsibility. I think number 2 is they've got a commitment to always improve is the other.
Right. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're always looking for, like, I think of one of my good buddies, Mr. Tom Toole, that I've coached for the last 6 or 7 years, and just every single year better and better and better. Big shout out to Tom in Philly. When I come back from week by week, when I come to a coaching call with him, he's done what we've talked about. He doesn't give pushback, right? But number 2, he's always like, what's next? Right. And I think that what's next is one of the signs of someone that's going to be very successful. And it's not that you can't be. I know my buddy Ed Millett talks about like being, joyfully dissatisfied. Right. And so I've always found that dissatisfaction is really one of the key signs to someone that is an achiever in life. So yeah, like have your short little celebrations for your success, but recognize like there's always something next.
That's really good. Commitment's always been the thing. We can make goals and everything, but a goal is just a hope and a dream. And when we get to the commitment, that's where it really goes down deep into your heart. So, all right. So we talked about noticing and figuring out what a super agent's going to be. The next question, and I ask this of most people that I have on the broadcast, is an agent that's been going along, doing 10 to 20 transactions a year, and they just can't break it. They're stuck. They just can't get any better than that. What's holding them back, or how do you get them to break out?
So it's interesting that you asked this, David, because I think that there's certain resistance points that agents go through in business based upon the volume of business that they're doing, but more so the transactional unit count that they're doing. I think an agent that is stuck at 10, 11, 12 can't make that leap to 24, 36. It really comes down to one of 2 things. Well, 2 things. Number 1, big thing is their habits and their disciplines are not aligned with their goals. What that means is that if someone wants to, like, if I look at an agent that's closing 10 or 11 transactions per year, I pretty much, I'm not saying everyone, but I'm pretty much can tell you they're not following a schedule consistently every single day. They're not prospecting every single day. They don't have the habits and the rituals in place to be able to succeed at a high level. And so if they just hunker down and fundamentally grab some of the basics that they need to do of following a schedule, prospecting every single day, following up with their leads on a daily basis, working on their mindset consistently, that'll push them at working on their skills as well too. You know me, David, I'm a huge skill-based, fanatic. Right? I'm a fanatic about skills. I think if you're going to do anything worthwhile, you've got to build your skills, whether it's sports. I was an avid athlete when as I grew up, right? Whether it's sports or whether it's dance or whether it's cheer or whether it's singing or music, you're going to have to build the skill, and the skill comes through repetition over time. So number 1 is that they simply aren't engaged in the right habits. They're not being disciplined. They don't have their rituals. They don't have their skills. Number 2 is this right here is all jacked up. Okay. Because, I just launched this thing for our entire ecosystem of coaches and coaching and clients called the 1800 Challenge. And what I wanted was everyone to come out of the gate strong in 2021, because I noticed that people were having varying degrees of mental breakdown. through the holidays. Like, this isn't the same. The pandemic's going on. Oh my gosh, we're locked down. And so what I did is I took 6,000 people and I said, okay, guys, you're going to have 6 micro commitments over the course of the month of January. You're going to do it for 30 days. You're going to do it straight. You're going to build on each one. And it was just simple things, right? To work on their mindset, because when this is right, you say the right things. When this is right, you have a tendency to actually do the things that you need to do. When this is right, you come from contribution, right? And so it's really simple. It's 6 things. You ready? Get up every single day, right? That's not one of them, but you get up every single day. You do 10 affirmations a day. I'm a strong advocate and believer in self-talk.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah. Number 2 is you listen for 10 minutes to something that's motivating, inspiring, or educating you. You exercise for a minimum of 10 minutes a day, get the body fueling the mind. And some people do a lot more than that, but it's the consistency of every single day. Then you do read 10 pages in a book. It doesn't need to be in the morning. I do that at night. You do 10 gratitudes and you meditate for 10 minutes. I call it the 6 by 10, which is 60 per day, 60 mental inflection points. And over the course of a month, that's 1,800 in essence, reps that you're doing with your mind. So, and what we're finding is people's production is naturally beginning to increase because their mindset is in the right place. They're thinking.
So it's 10 affirmations, 10 minutes of
listening to something motivating and inspiring.
Exercise 10 minutes, read 10 pages, 10 gratitudes. And what was the last one?
10 minutes of meditation and 10 minutes of exercise.
Right. So, yeah. And that basically just opens you up. It's like today I run 3 times a week and I do a video after that. And I had everything down that I wanted to do. And then I plan what I'm going to say in those videos. And today during my run, I got so motivated on one word, one topic. And I decided, that's gone. I'll do that next time. Here's my topic for today. And it all sorted out in my head because I was working out and I was sweating. It was going all through me. So it worked out really, really well.
Yeah.
So I mean,
here's the thing that I want that I had to recognize, and I want everyone that I come in contact in life to recognize is we have these micro battles throughout the course of the day. And the micro battles are they're little tiny decisions that we have to make. Are we going to do our normal self, or are we going to be like this warrior self that exists for us? Right. And the more of those micro battles that you can win, like getting up and not hitting the snooze, going for your run instead of opting out, choosing to prospect, not choosing to prospect, following up the lead, closing one more time. All those micro battles actually are building inside of us certainty and belief in ourselves. And on the opposite side too, when you break those and you lose those micro battles, you hit the snooze button, you sleep in, you choose not to prospect, you're running late, you're not following your schedule, you lose those, it really activates what I call your drunk monkey, which is your ego and the survival portion of your brain that basically says you're not in control of your life, right? That somebody else is. And it puts you in a victim state where you feel disempowered and you lose that power of integrity that's so critical.
So when you say somebody else is in charge, who is that person? Is it your alter ego? Is it the person that you don't want to assimilate to and work with?
I think human beings have, at least I do. There's 2 individuals. There's the normal Bill. There's the warrior Bill, right? And I talk about this at Sales Edge. It's one of the seminars that I do. And we've had those days where we're just like kicking ass, taking names, freaking nothing stands in the way. That warrior you felt it inside of you. But then there's the normal you, and the normal me wants to sleep in, eat donuts, eat like crap, not work out, right? And so that battle is always in existence. It never goes away. And the minute you think that it does, you've lost, right? Because that lower version of yourself has a tendency to win out because it's more natural to do that than it is to actually fight upstream against, like to do the things that aren't always comfortable. So if I'm talking about who wins out, it's the normal version of yourself. And I think everyone if someone's watching this, we can make an assumption about them that they don't want to be normal, right? They want to be extraordinary. They want to lead the field in terms of what it is that they're doing. So you got to win those battles. And for me, those micro battles, like the 6 by 10, 1,800 challenge is critical, creating momentum in your life.
Yeah. And it's funny is that you talked about the 6 things that people have. I do them myself every day. And the interesting part about it is, I'll wake up in the morning and I won't feel like running. I won't feel like working out. But as I start going through my ritual of writing my gratitudes, downloading from my head, the meditation and getting going, I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get going because the energy just starts building up as I write out my affirmations, I say them and write them out. And it's one of the things I try to get people to do because it is so freaking powerful.
So powerful.
It's amazing, you know. I mean, this is probably one of the things that you've used throughout your entire career to keep going, because you said the donuts. You've had days like that because we're not all supermen, right?
No, not at all, man. And you know, here's the other piece as well too. If we're talking about like success principles and reasons why certain people succeed and are serial success individuals versus other people that hit it every now and again. Human beings have a hallucination that those individuals that they look at, who they put on a pedestal, that have accomplished great things in life, that those individuals never have breakdowns. And that's a bunch of bullshit, right? I mean, like there are massive breakdowns. I mean, when you're running a team,
hell yeah,
people, you know, like some of these individuals have, you know, there's always someone who's in a fight with their wife or spouse or getting a divorce or their kids are doing something. There's always going on. I mean, I had two teams I coached last year where, you know, each of them had massive migration out of their team, lead sources changed, et cetera. And they lost some of their primary individuals. I remember getting a call on Tuesday morning from one of them and they're like, holy shit pipes. We just lost 50% of our team. Right. And it wasn't, we strategized and we right mindset approaching it, saying, how is this perfect? What did we learn from this? Right. But the key is this, is how quickly you can freaking bounce back. Right. Because everyone's going to fall. Everyone's going to eat the donut. Right. But it's, do you eat one donut or are you eating 10? Right. See, because you're going to have a breakdown. It's how quickly you can hit and then go, shit, I got to turn this around and bounce back. The highly successful individuals have an ability to be able to actually bounce back faster than everybody else. Look at Elon Musk. It's a perfect example, man. I mean, you know, Musk's company was on the verge of being shut down. He had to go out. He had to sell. He got a CEO. He got all of the individuals that were like the executives in his company to go out and sell, bounce back. And then now look at what the stock has done over the course of this last year.
Amazing. It's amazing. Amazing. Hey, look, you know, I every week I have a friend of mine come on. I coach side by side, shoulder to shoulder with this guy. I heard you know each other. I consider him a great friend, mentor, coach. We coach each other. His name is Sekou Pyle. He's smiling like crazy. We're going to bring him on without any further ado, just to talk with all of us.
Right on.
And let me just get rid of this frame. Hey, you are. Can't hear you, man. You're muted. I got you.
No, what happened was I was muting over here. So we're running school in my house, you know, right? So I've got my nieces, my nephews, my sons, daughters, and things like that. And so it's a little
family affair.
Yeah, it's a little cacophony or whatever the hell you call it. Dude, let me start off by saying this. One of my favorite people on the planet right here.
Thanks,
Quite
brother.
literally, one of my favorite people on the planet. You want to talk about a parasocial relationship? Knew him before I knew him. Right. And then when we collided, right, when that happened, dude, it was just like the most positive taser in the world, man. It was just like, break out, let's go.
Game on, baby. Yes.
Dude, I know we don't have much time, so I'm gonna skip the pleasantries. Let me say three things. First, you look amazing, Pipes. You look amazing. Your energy, it's like a glow, man. You look like the last dragon. You look like Bruce Leroy right now, man. Right?
Thanks, man. Yeah.
The second thing that I want to talk about, man,
by
is
the way, bro, it's all freaking the 1800, man. I'm telling you,
yeah,
man.
It's
all like those micro habits. I've been doing it now for almost 3 weeks, and it's the only thing I can point to. And you would think like, it's just, here's the deal. It's like 6 things that we've always done, but I've never done them consistently for so many days concurrently, like one right after the other.
Purposefully as well.
Yeah. Purposefully.
Right. What I want to point out, right, is, all right. So you were scheduled to climb, was it Kilimanjaro?
So I climbed Kilimanjaro. Took me 2 times.
But because the first time there was a breakdown.
Oh yeah.
So I want to say this, and then I'm going to just turn this over to you because I want you to talk about this. Yeah. When you got set to go the second time, I think that was the better version of you for that mountain. Right? I know guys that had to come down. Yeah, I know guys that had to come down because of cramps and things in the legs and all of this and that. Talk about that. Talk about the disappointment of the first time into the motivation for the second time.
Crazy thing. So one of the things I will do in life, it's not a goal, it's I will. I'm climbing the 7 summits. I'm actually leaving in July to go to Russia to climb up Mount Elbrus, 18,000 feet, and ski down 6,000 feet of it. Then I go back to Argentina to climb Aconcagua, which I got to 21,000 feet and had to turn around for cramps and dehydration. But Kilimanjaro was an interesting thing because I was prepped, primed. Physically, I thought I was ready. Mentally, I thought I was ready. And I show up, David, at the airport. My family had gone to Disneyland, and we're doing a cruise, or Disney World cruise, a Disney cruise. And so they'd already left. I show up at the airport. I go to check in. And as I check in, they say, Mr. Pipes, we can't let you on this plane. And I said, well, what do you mean you can't let me on this plane? I'm flying. I've got no pipes. Crew. I'm flying to Africa to climb this mountain. They said, well, your passport needs to have at least 189 days before it expires. Yours only has 188. We can't let you on the plane.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So
technicality.
I'm like, okay. So honestly, the first thing that hit me, natural human being, is I tried to strategize, whatever. And then I walked over in the corner of the Salt Lake City airport and I fucking cried. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, here I am, grown man. Like, how can I have not planned this better? How did I miss that? Right. So then I did everything I could, called my senator, called my congressman. They said, we can do this. My team. Now, the funny thing is my team was in Amsterdam. I'm not even sure if they even remember the conversation that I had with them because they were in Amsterdam. Right. And so as I'm
getting ready.
Yeah, they were getting ready. Like they were already there having fun and doing whatever. So, and they said, we'll wait for you. I go, it's going to be 7 days. And I finally went, no, guys, you go ahead and climb on your own. It broke my heart, but it actually made me freaking stronger. Right. Because I said, I'm still committed. And so I found my buddy, Bernie Gallerani, grabbed him. We went over and did it in December and January. I spent New Year's Eve in Tanzania. It was amazing. It was an incredible experience. And here's what I learned from that, Sekou. Life's going to be a shit burrito sometimes, right? It's just going to deal it up to you sometimes, right? And it isn't what happens to you. It's how you choose to respond. I could have fucking folded. I could have said, I'm not, I'm done. How am I going to spend spent so much money already? How am I going to spend more? I was prepped mentally. How am I going to do whatever? And something crazy happened in the interim time as well too. Like many people don't know this, but in between my first attempt at Kilimanjaro and then when I finally went, my wife and I separated. Like this, wow. This on and anyone ever knows. Wow. Separated. I moved out of the house. And it was going like everything that why I shouldn't go back and climb was freaking laid in front of me. And you know what?
You said it. The shit burrito.
It was a shit burrito. And it became, but here's the deal. I reframed it and said, I'm climbing this damn mountain because I'm going to prove to my family who I am as a man. And this isn't about the mountain. It's about me, saving my family. Something more than just an ego gratification of me getting to the top of the mountain. It was to actually, there was meaning behind it. And when you have meaning behind something, right, your actions freaking change. You don't need the damn alarm clock. You're up before it even goes off. So, yeah.
Dude, the guy I saw, look, watch this. The guy I know, even parasocially, was 150% stronger, more focused when I saw you on your way to really the summit of Kilimanjaro. Yeah. And so the metaphors that are all there, man, life is the mountain.
Yeah.
And there's times where you gotta backtrack, man. If you don't backtrack, it's gonna kill you.
Hillary, one of the great climbers, said, it's ourselves that we climb, not the mountains.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And so I think about that and how we tie that back into everyone that's real estate specific right now. This year, like last year was that was Everest, guys. Congratulations.
Yes.
If you're still in the business.
Yes.
Good on you. You're a freaking warrior. You've got grit. You got determination. There were people that were actually, geared out of it, got out of this business. But there's a lot of people that got the best year that they've ever had out of this business.
Yes.
Right? You should celebrate that. But you know what? This year is going to be the best year in real estate ever. According to Lawrence Yun, the National Association of Realtors, chief economist, this is the best year. But you know what? It's going to be the worst year for some people because they've gotten lazy. Their skills have gotten soft because the market's been so strong, right? They have their disciplines have gotten weak, right? Like this is the time right now that the greats go, I'm all in. Right. Yep. And all in means you still spend 30 minutes a day on your scripts and dialogues. All in means that you still follow a morning ritual and schedule. All in means that you still work on your mindset. All in means that you still prospect your face off every single day. Right. So
see, that's the difference. That's the difference between the winner and the not winner, where there's no practice and there's no ritual. I've already made it. Let me do this. And that's what happened 9 months ago. Most people just threw their hands up. Look, there was a hesitation, no question about it. But the right ones did what they had to do and moved forward. And that's what this guy did with a lot of people. That's what I did. And we were able to move forward and help an awful lot of agents win their business and win their days.
Amazing.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of agents that owe their success to you, Pipes, because they lace up their fucking shoes. Okay, they lace up their fucking shoes, and it's raining, you go running. It's sunny, you go running. The meteors are falling, you go running. I hate running, you go running, right? And Steve Stout said this about Kobe Bryant. He said that he was a good player when he was younger. He was a good player. He had a lot of talent. He became one of the best players in the entire universe when he embraced his imperfection. When he embraced his imperfection and began to practice, and he began to practice like the skills were the only thing keeping him alive, that is when he became Mamba. That's when he became Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean?
Well, you think about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is the same way.
Same thing.
You know, like you look at it and, one of the worst things that God can give you is natural talent. Say that, because and I've been talking to my son Liam about this, who plays soccer and he started playing David football this year as well too. And I'm like, I love it. Being from Southeast Texas, Texas A&M, whoop whoop, right? So, but I said to Liam, I go, thank goodness you weren't blessed with natural talent. He goes, why, Dad? I'd love to. I go, because you wouldn't have to work. That's only going to get you so far. And then those people who are willing to outwork those that have natural talent, right? Going to be the ones that slingshot forward from.
Absolutely.
My good friend Veronica Figueroa always talks about, I'll take will over skill.
Yeah.
And there's a line in a book that I think you would love. The name of the book, the author of the book is Octavia Butler. It's a fictional book. It's called Parable of the Sower. Right? Octavia Butler, Parable of the Sower. I think especially you would love it, Pipes. You have the right mind around it. And the very first line on the very first page is like a quote, and it says, God's gifts often burn unready hands. Yeah. And that is that whole talent. You know what I mean? It's when you're already blessed with something, chances are you ain't working on it as hard as you should. And damn it, I'm going to outwork you. So our 1800 have to say, in order to get into our room, right? So Dave and Ali and I run this room called Commitment to Capping, and it's a bunch of agents that are just nose to the grindstone, head down, pig-headed discipline, right? And the commitment is no one will outwork me.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being the best in the world.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Will Smith video? Like, I'm gonna die on this treadmill. Like, I'm gonna die on this treadmill before you beat me. Well, and let's take this back to business specific right now too. I know you guys have had John on here, have Chet Black. I mean, he's a badass. I love him. So big shout out to Chet Black as well as Ferry and everyone else you guys have had on here. I've hired a lot of people. I was all mergers and acquisitions for directlender.com. And I would always hire for grit over talent. That was one of my mottos. I hire for grit over talent. And people always say, well, how can you determine grit if it's just in an interview? For all of you, those of you that have a team, here's what I'm going to tell you right now. It's a one simple, I love it, man. Simple question. Tell me about a time, this is an interview question. Tell me about a time in your life when you had a goal that you ever had to overcome massive obstacles and you had to stick to it for a long period of time, right? That one question. Tell me about a time in your life when you had a goal, you had to overcome massive obstacles. It took you a long period of time, but you did it in the face of the adversity. And when someone can actually verbalize, here's what I went through and there was the goal and here's what I had to overcome, you know you got someone that's gritty at that point, right? That's
right.
So.
That is awesome.
So I know we're up against time, and just like anything else, there's a couple of things we got to finish up with.
Yeah, let's finish
Bill,
up.
Bill, I know that you finally came on because you saw everybody wearing these.
I only came on to get a hat. I'm going to tell you that.
See that? See that?
Yeah.
That's why he finally came on, because I sent him a picture of the hat. Right?
I told her, and it's the new hat too. I see you.
Right.
I will walk that bad boy proud.
All right, man. I love that. So we have one question that we ask everybody that's on at the end. I asked that question at the beginning, so I'm going to allow Sekou to ask the question, the final question, and then
my good friend.
Run. Go ahead, Sekou.
My good friend, someone I consider a brother, that has helped me tremendously. I still use our 4 coaching questions every single coaching session. The 4 questions are the only thing that they get consistently every time. So I'm going to ask you a question that I don't think you get asked enough.
Right.
How do we help you, Coach Pipes?
What can we do to help
How do we help you?
It's a really good question. Continue your ruthless contribution of what it is that you guys are doing. That just keep what you're doing, right? Because what you guys are doing right now is making a difference. And my commitment is that, like, when someone walks by my grave, they look at it and they go, "Damn, that motherfucker was old." That's the first thing I want them thinking. Right?
I like that.
Number 2, I want them to be able to say he made a difference. And what you guys are doing right now makes a difference. And with us being on the path together, that's the most important thing, right? And and by the way, it's not just for the 2 of you, it's for every single one of you guys that are out there to be able to end the day and be able to go, my existence mattered because I made a difference in one person's life. It could be the person that's, like at the grocery store, or someone that you smile at. It doesn't have to mean that you're changing their world, but you never know with that smile that you just gave, the compound butterfly effect that it could have, right? Over and over. So guys, just keep fucking crushing it and doing what you're doing. So
thanks so much.
I got your back, brother. Whatever you need, I got you.
Here's what I asked, because today we had to cut it short. I'd love to come back on again for a full hour and talk skills, baby.
Great. All right. So I'm going to reach out to you next week. You give me a date or whatever. We'll be able to do that, my friend. Okay. Thank you so much, Bill. I know you got to run. We're going to stay on for 5 more minutes, but thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
We did it. We took the Academy digital.
It's
killing. Let's go.
All right. Cora's telling me, man. He's telling me everything that's going on with you guys. All right, guys. Thanks again.
Love you, man.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you, man. Hey, Sekou, that was pretty cool.
Finale.
Yo, brother.
Holy shit. TGIF. Thank God it's finale. Listen, I'm going to say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, man. There's a lot that we've been through in the last year. Right. It's only been a year. It seems like it's 10 years in this last year. There's a lot that we've been through in this last year. There are a lot of relationships that I had and then was reintroduced to through this broadcast. And your consistency and your dedication is definitely one to be saluted. And I'm very, very happy to be right there shoulder to shoulder with you and to call you brother as well, man.
Thank you so much.
You know what I mean? It means a whole lot to me that you allow me to come on and share the space with you. You have some big names on here, man.
And guess what we got next week? Look who we got next week.
Who do we have next week, sir?
We have Haas Pratt coming on, not Boss Haas coming on next week.
Boss Haas!
His second appearance on a broadcast. And we got Chris Jones coming up in the future. We got some other greats. Yesterday we got confirmation. We don't have a date yet for Eric Sachs of Breakthrough Broker. So we've got some great names coming up. We've got lots of things that we're working on. And the whole goal here, really, this whole thing started 133 weeks ago because I wanted to do something to help people and get myself out there a little bit, taking a chance, taking a risk. Because I saw someone do something like this that I thought they did a terrible job, and I knew I could do better, even if I just showed up every week and talked to myself. There was actually one week, I don't know if you ever saw it, where I actually interviewed myself. Where I swear to God, I went from one chair to another asking questions.
I bet. Look, you have your top 10. right? I bet you that's in the top 2, man. I'm telling you now, man. That was probably the best one.
Well, top10tgif.com. People can go and get the top 10. We're going to be expanding it. We're still going to call it top 10, but there's another 5 more I've got to add. This is going to be one of them. Last week with Hank Avink, which was amazing, right? I think we've done some really good stuff, and I thank you for your participation. I had a great I've had a great opportunity since you and I have been working together. I want to thank you for that from the bottom of my heart.
It's a good time, man.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm gonna stop chewing your ear off, man, and I'm gonna say this, if I may. If you're not in this man's calendar, get into his calendar, right? See, the thing is that there are real estate agents, there's real estate brokers, and then there's real estate royalty, right? And game recognizes game right here. The reason why Dave continues to get the best talent in the real estate world and beyond in the business world onto his show is because they recognize the grit, the determination, and the talent and skill that's here in this man. So if you're not in his calendar, get in his calendar. If you are debating as to whether or not to come on or whatever the hell, might be hesitant, shut up, take some action, and let's get in there, man. Dude, you're a true master of this craft, man, and I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words. I'm what kind of speechless. I thank you for that. So next week we've got Haas Pratt coming on, the listing boss Haas. Can't wait to have him on again.
I'm looking forward to that.
He was one of the 10 best the last 2 years, and we got him coming on. And you know what?
We had him and Pipes together on the same time, man. I want to do something like that, man. That idea that you had before, bro.
I would love to do that, and then also, imagine a round table of those two plus some of the other greats we've had on, like Greenspan and just from a different perspective, right?
The coaches table, baby. Could you imagine what the agents would get from just being in the room? All right, I think we got another workshop set up.
I think that could be. You know what? I'm going to start doing. And I kind of like put it out there this afternoon in another broadcast. But for anybody that's interested, starting next Friday, I'm going to do several hours of skills audit, and we're going to be doing those in the afternoons on Fridays. So that's one of the things that we're going to be able to do, since we've learned so much from all these people that have been on the broadcast, and all these people have great things. I mean, Bill gave you how to start the day. Ritual, plain and simple, the ritual. And he attributes it to his energy and his vitality today, right? That is so simple. And so that's a skill you need to understand. We can work on that too. So it's real estate skill builder for a reason.
Hey, real estate skill builder, guru, real estate royalty. What does boba mean? I saw you put something out earlier. Boba. Are we what the heck is that? Is that Boba Fett? What is that?
No, man. That was a book written by Grant Cardone called Be Obsessed or Be Average. Right. So it was actually the theme of my video this morning on my run. We talked about, it's a matter of, a lot of people look at Be Obsessed and Be Average as, let's go get it. We got to go do it. We got to grit and hustle and all this other shit. It's what it is. It's all shit, right? I want you to be obsessed with yourself here and here first, right? When you're obsessed with this and you understand what your commitment and what your true why is, that's where you're going to be obsessed, because otherwise you're going to be like everybody else. So that's where, for me, if you read the book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, that's not in there. But for me, Be Obsessed or Be Average is all about, from here, being obsessed with yourself first. It's so important to love yourself first, man. And if you can't do that, find out how.
GCAP. That's how you can do it. GCAP, baby. We'll talk for hours, man. I'm exhausted. We've been working our ass off, and I think I'm gonna have a nice little taste of something before the evening session. You're up early in the morning. You do your run, you do your exercise, you do your broadcasts, you do your birthdays, you do all of these things, and you keep going until the evening. You're on with me at night. Here's the thing. Watch this, Dave Finale. How do we help you?
You know what? The biggest compliment that I can get is someone say, "Hey, Dave, you got a minute?" Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. When I was a broker owner, I had my own brokerage. I thought my name was "Got a Minute," right? And yesterday on Thursdays I do scripts and dialogues at 5 p.m. Eastern, and Wilma came on, right? So I worked a little bit with Wilma, during that hour and a half. It was helpful. I sent her the video of your pricing conversation that we had several weeks ago, right? So that's something that she needed. She raised her hand, asked for help. I'm there. Yep. I'm there. Yep. Look, I come from a place of contribution and abundance. I just want to help people. And that's how you help me. Let me help you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ruth Almonte says, that's what I'm talking about. Ruth is another Energizer bunny out there, man. She is. Rock. Look at that smile. Hey, do you mind if I do a shameless plug for next week?
Oh, man, you can do that right now. Absolutely.
All right. Well, next week we are doing.
You mean that?
Yes, sir. Next week is the Appointment Academy, the 18th through the 22nd. This is the West Coast edition. So we're starting later in the day for my East Coast folks, because they know I like to get them up at crack of dawn. So we'll be starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time so that my folks out on the West Coast can get the most out of their morning. And we're going to really blow this one out of the water. We're going to try to double the amount of resources, information, and deals that we've created in the last 3. This is the first one of the year. We're doing it West Coast edition. Just go to theappointmentacademy.com and click on the pop-up and you're in the door. All right. And ask Finale how to get in for free if you're really interested. see if you can get onto his list, see if you can get onto his calendar. Yeah, I love you, man.
And we do have some guests coming. Right now we have confirmed Grant Wise joining us again. Thanks so much to him for doing this. I mean, he doesn't have to. He comes on. This is the 3rd in a row I'll be on. It's just, it's great.
And they love him.
Right.
They love him. They love his service. The Whitley service is amazing. Listen, guys, 5 days, constant lead generation. You'll come out of it with 10 times the amount of appointments than you've ever thought you can have.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to helping a little bit on that myself. I'll be there on and off. And whatever I can do to help there. What can I do to help you, Mr. Sekou? What can I do to help you?
I'm sorry. You just did it. There you go. We are growing. We're growing together. What you guys don't know is that Dave and I, we coach together, but we practice together all the time as well. Right. And in practicing, we practice to get ourselves better so that when we are meeting with you, when you say, hey, you got a minute, that minute that you have with us is the best of our possible minutes, that we are giving you an abundance of energy and attention and resources in that moment in time that we spend together. Mr. Dave, I guess we need to talk. There you go. All right. Listen, Dave, I've got a boogie, man. I love you, brother. Thank you very, very much, man.
You too, man. Later. You too. Take care, brother. Take care. I'll see you later. So everybody, thanks so much for coming on today and watching this broadcast. We are truly excited for this, and we'll see you next week. Regular time, 11 a.m. Eastern with Haas Pratt. Thanks so much.